Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the Roofless Dog and Pony Show. My name is Julio, and I am the dream alchemist of Roofless Painters. And I'm going to be the host of this presentation slash rambling. So, as an introduction, I just wanted to explain that the Roofless Dog and Pony Show is a non-scripted, content-rich presentation featuring the conceptual and stylistic presentation behind our painting, behind our painting webinars, which includes contemporary art notes and art history references and a bit of commentary. And here comes a disclaimer: we're not grammatically perfect, and we love to invent new words, and we haven't triple fact-checked our sources. So we leave that up to you, and please reach out to us if you know something that we don't know. So we'll present a few slides first, and then interact with the cricket gallery. We have one cricket right now. Thanks, babe. And then we're gonna open up a Q&A, and I think we're gonna reach the point where we're gonna self Q&A at some point. Anyhow, so you'll be able to replay this presentation later in an Instagram post and also on our YouTube channel. Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to present the first slide, which is the cover of our webinar. We end up calling it ceilings, but what we're going to do is paint ceilings, basically, or paint ceilings from a very specific point of view. We're not going to literally paint the ceilings, but one day we will. If this goes much longer, I'm pretty sure that's going to be our plan B. But for now, we're just going to paint them from live, or rather from a photograph, because I don't think we can actually put an easel in that position. Let's kind of go back to the cover, because this is it comes from a William Eggleston photograph. We talked about William Eggleston last week, and we came across this amazing photograph. We didn't show it, but it gives us the idea of using it as an inspiration for our painting, our next painting series, ceilings. So he took this photo in 1973, and he considers the photo to be one of his most important works. There's one copy at the Getty Center, and there's then one copy at the MoMA, and he says that he hasn't been able to find a printed version that satisfies him, because it's all about the red. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask you to take a picture of what you have over your heads. So, and then we're going to use that as a subject for our painting. I don't think I've seen a lot of paintings of ceilings, but this feels conceptually very meaningful right now, because we are basically staring at the ceiling all the time. In that sense, I wanted to say that I'm going to divide human history in two eras. The look up era and the look down era. There used to be a time, once upon a time, we used to look up more often than we do right now. I remember having memories of being in hotel rooms or in theaters or in buildings in which I had time to actually observe and look up and find out what that space looked like. We don't do that anymore. I define ourselves as an extension of our smartphones, so we look down all the time, and I just think it's a different time. I'm not saying it's better or worse, but we want to bring back that time in which we used to think about things by looking at the ceiling. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of images, ordinary images. I don't have much today, but a couple of ordinary images of people who took pictures of ceilings, from either laying down or looking up. And what I remember, things that I remember thinking about looking up were the quality of the light. I remember ceilings that were near a pool and or the ocean, and I remember the light reflecting on the waves and then creating things on the ceiling. And I used to spend a lot of time watching that. I also remember moments where there's either the dawn or the sunset. More the sunset as I grew older than the dawn, but nevertheless, the quality of the light created shadows, created color, created temperature that I found very interesting. And the biggest, most exciting example of being inspired by looking at the ceilings is probably chandeliers or lamps or objects designed to project artificial light that I found beautiful. So yeah, I think we need to go back to the pre-digital era and get inspired by the quality of light and the objects that we see by looking up. So this is it, you guys. There's another fascinating and interesting, I think, image of an office ceiling. And this is a good example of the surprises and the interesting things that we can discover when we look up. And in that sense, since this is a pretty straightforward assignment, what I did bring, I brought a bunch of images of famous ceilings in the city of Los Angeles. So some I've seen, some I have not seen, and I'm gonna start with this is the Pantages Theater, and this is the ceiling at the Pantages, which is one. It's a very important building in LA, and it's one of the most glamorous and fantastic examples of Art Deco. So I just thought it would be interesting to show famous ceilings, and this is the Chinese Theater, also same era, beginning the 1920s, I believe, recently restored, and I just learned a few things about the ceiling of the building. I think there's an organ in that building, and the pipes of the organ actually come from the sound comes from the ceiling. So talk about having a ceiling experience that involves sound. This is the ceiling at the Cantor's Deli, which I have seen, but I never regarded as something worth seeing. I don't know, just like you look down and you look at the food. But yep, that's the Cantor ceiling. It's another very important building, and I think it's a good example of ceilings that are not necessarily boring. I think this one, let me just find out, because it's either the Wiltern Theater or I think, let me find out. The Wiltern, yes, the famous sunburst. I've never been in the Wiltern Theater, so I haven't seen these, but it's on my list right now. So, yeah, another fantastic and fabulous ceiling in LA. And then I have another one that I absolutely love. This is in downtown LA, and you guys have seen this before. I didn't know the name of the building. It's the James Oviatt building, and I think there's still a restaurant called La Cicada. There you can see this from the street when you drive by, and I always thought this was incredible and fantastic. What I didn't know is that the glass is Lalique glass, imported glass and handcrafted. And I think that's nuts and absolutely incredible. And I want to go back now. I think here we can go back because the unfortunate thing about the rest of the buildings, and I'm having a little bit of a nostalgic moment, we cannot see right now. But this one we can because it's the foyer or the entrance. This is the dome at the Griffith Observatory, which is a mural painted by an artist that I forgot his name, but I should have. Yeah, I have his name right here. And Hugo Ballin. He did other murals in LA, but I haven't been at the Griffith Observatory in a very long time. I remember this, but now I want to go back and see it. This is the ceiling at the Ace Hotel, United Artists Theater, basically, which is currently the Ace Hotel. And I've never been inside of this theater, you guys. So yes, it is cricket. I don't know if you can tell me right now. The comments don't show up in the video later, but is this whole a skylight in this building, or is this just light? Because I've seen a few images. I've never been inside of this theater. I'm ashamed to say, but it seems that this is a source of light. To me, this looks very futuristic, and it was inspired by an Italian grotto, whatever it's pronounced. So you can see all the almost cave-like decorations. Just light. Okay, well, yeah, thanks. I need to go back and check it out. And this is the Old Natural History Museum. It is the Natural History Museum, but it's the original building. And this used to be, before it became the Natural History Museum, it used to be also the Art Museum of Los Angeles. So there's still a plaque in front of the classic facade that says that this is among other things, the Art Museum. I know, unbelievable. I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen half of these places. This one I have, but it's been a long time, so I have to go back. But yeah, a spectacular grand dome that we have in LA. And this is the UCLA library, which is, and I've seen this one because when I was doing the Havisham Hour project, I went there to hide a piece of artwork inside one of the books there. I cannot find the name of the library, but yeah, that's the UCLA library. Let me see if I can find it right here. And it is the Powell Library. Come on! Yes, it's the Powell Library. This room is just spectacular and incredible. And so yeah, I just imagine painting this ceiling. And finally, I think that's it. I think that's all I've got in regards of like famous ceilings of LA, but I'm missing a few for sure. I'm missing a few. For example, I'm missing the new ceiling or the new dome at the Union Station that I haven't seen. That it looks spectacular and amazing. I love looking up inside of the Bradbury building. There's nothing beautiful about that skylight, but it's very striking to just look up and see the sides of the hall, I guess, and just see how it ends with the glass on top. And other ceilings that are famous, I don't know, but I'll just add more to the list if I see them. But yeah, famous ceiling of Los Angeles. We have a ton. Oh yes, come on, you guys. I forgot one that I also love, and that I don't have the slide for. So sometimes the slides don't load up. It's the library, the central library, the central dome. It's an amazing mosaic piece that has an astrological, or it has like a lamp that's a planet, and then all the signs, astrology signs around it, and it's a pretty spectacular building. So this is the end of my gaffe-prone presentation, and I'm just gonna see if anyone who is here has any questions about the assignment. This will be based on a photograph because it's going to be very hard to paint the ceilings the ceiling live. So we will ask you to take a picture of different parts of anything that's over our heads. It could be corners, skylights, chandeliers, lights, but mostly whatever point of view we have looking looking up, and that's what we're gonna paint. And we had such a fantastic time painting images taken by us inside of our cars, in the series in the driver's seat. The composition was so spectacular and amazing that it gave us the idea of trying to find a different point of view that would be also original and different. And looking up would be a very interesting option for that. There are not many paintings of us looking up, or paintings of ceilings, and this will be a homage to the digital era, when humans used to look up more often than now. We don't look up anymore, and there's so many things that we're missing out. So thank you, everyone. Perfect timing. Someone's knocking on my door, so I'm gonna upload this video and I'm gonna send the link to sign up. But if you don't receive it via email, you're gonna just be able to do it on our website, rooflesspainters.com/webinar. All right, bye. I'm out. Thank you.